I'm Roland Minton. These are some of my favorite math stories. In this episode, mathematics is in the movies. We'll look at some examples of movies that are about mathematics. A fairly comprehensive review can be found in the book, Math Goes to the Movies, but that publication date of 2012 means that recent movies are not included. Now, you might be expecting me to give a top 10 list, but I don't like doing a linear ranking. What would be my one criterion when there are several dimensions of enjoyment? So I'll put some of my favorite movies into categories, and you might notice that by one count there are 10 movies listed. One criterion for getting into my list is that I have to have seen the movie. Apologies to Cube and other highly rated movies. Biographies of mathematicians are clearly movies about mathematics, though other issues will be explored if the movie's good. The first three movies are strong adaptations of excellent books. The Man Who Knew Infinity is the story of the remarkable Indian mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan. It explores a clash of cultures, Indian versus British, religious versus atheist, and so on, and gets at what could be called applied versus pure mathematics. It is a result that is probably true or almost true worthless without rigorous proof. Underlying it all is the mystery of Ramanujan's genius. See the episode Infinite Series for more. Next comes Hidden Figures, the story of three computers from the 1960s. Computers were usually women employed to do the number crunching needed in aeronautics research and the nascent space program. Adding to the underdog minority aspect of the story is that the three main figures are black, managing to succeed in a largely racist Virginia. All three women made major contributions to the space program, and the movie does a nice job of showing them as likable, smart people doing their best. Next is A Beautiful Mind, the story of John Nash, a brilliant mathematician who battled schizophrenia. In the movie, this manifested as seeing and conversing with imaginary people, but the truth seems to have been closer to hearing imaginary voices. For a visual medium like film, that distortion is probably excusable. Nash's recovery is a great story, but I'm not a fan of the idea that geniuses in general, and math geniuses in particular, must battle mental demons. The fact that the play and movie Proof came out shortly after this does not help my attitude on this. A movie that is almost in this category is Stand and Deliver, about the math teacher Jaime Escalante. It's an excellent underdog movie and brings up a teaching issue that I worry that we are not handling well. Escalante succeeds by challenging students that others know can't handle the math. Where's the line between encouraging/demanding a student perform beyond their expectations and abuse? The book Escalante, which came out at the same time as the movie, is excellent and provides some details about the dramatic conclusion of the movie. Escalante's group of AP Calculus students was accused of cheating by ETS. Almost all of them retook the test under tight supervision and passed. But the question of what actually happened and whether ETS was guilty of any racism is interesting. Stand and Deliver has a scene where Escalante shows a great shortcut for basic integration by parts problems. I had never seen it before, and immediately stole it from my calculus book and classes. I'll add two more movies to the biographical category. The Imitation Game takes liberties with Alan Turing's life and work at Bletchley Park, but Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley are excellent and the story is powerful. The movie Enigma is also good. Good Will Hunting is not a biography of a real person, but it's a great character study of a prodigy and his interactions with academia. The Robin Williams character is compelling. An older movie that is not well known is It's My Turn, about a math professor at a crossroads in her personal and professional life. The opening scene is great as the professor finishes up a proof in a graduate course while fending off the objections of an obnoxious student. The movie is a favorite of mine because it features Joe Clayburgh as the math professor and a young Michael Douglas as a recently retired baseball player who plays in an old-timers game at Yankee Stadium. If you enjoy escape rooms, you'll probably like From Oz Room, where a group of 4 people, 3 of them mathematicians, must solve puzzles to prevent the walls in a locked room from crushing them. Mathematics is often the vehicle for a genre of movies exploring the pressures young geniuses and their parents face. I like Searching for Bobby Fischer a lot, but I'm not going to say that chess is mathematics for this discussion. While gifted is also good, I think that a brilliant young mind, also titled X plus Y, does a better job of getting at the mathematical world of math Olympiad competitions in a sympathetic way. The last movie I'll list is Die Hard with a Vengeance. What? You don't think that's a math movie? Next, you'll tell me that the first Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Yippee-ki-yay. But seriously, I put this one in because it includes a nice puzzle with a brilliant follow-up in the book Math Goes to the Movies. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson are faced with a string of puzzles they must solve, one of which is, given a 3-gallon jug and a 5-gallon jug, find a way to measure out exactly 4 gallons. See if you can do this. Here's the solution given in the movie. Fill the 5-gallon jug and pour 3 gallons into the 3-gallon jug. The status is 3 out of 3 and 2 out of 5. Empty the 3-gallon jug, status 0 out of 3, 2 out of 5. Pour the 2 gallons into the small jug, 2 out of 3, 0 out of 5. Fill the large jug, 2 out of 3, 5 out of 5. Pour 1 gallon to fill the 3-gallon jug, 3 out of 3, 4 out of 5. You have 4 gallons. Check out the use of this diagram, which appears in the book Math Goes to the Movies, to solve the problem. So that's a brief list of good mathematics movies. Other favorites that are sometimes called math movies include Moneyball, see the episode Sabermetrics; Jurassic Park, see the episode Chaotic; Infinity, see the episode Cinematic; and Sneakers, a great cast. I'll close with a bit of mathematics that is underplayed in the book and movie Hidden Figures, namely the use of Euler's method to find the go-no-go point for re-entry. After I try to explain it, you might be glad the movie left it alone. Equations for flight are well known, but are often unsolvable by normal means. The flight equations are actually differential equations, but a less complicated analogy is that an equation such as 3x plus 2 equals 5 can be solved by algebra. Subtract 2, divide by 3, you've got x equals 1. But x to the 5th minus x equals 1 cannot. There are solutions to x to the 5th minus x minus 1 equals 0, but we don't have techniques that find exact representations. However, we can approximate them. With x equals 1, the left-hand side is negative 1, too small, but with x equals 2, the left-hand side is 29, too large. So there must be a solution between x equals 1 and x equals 2, and it's probably closer to 1. We can keep narrowing down the interval containing a solution using techniques maybe analogous to Euler's method, though before digital computers. This could be a lengthy process. One technique called bisections cuts the interval in half each time, 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5, 1 to 1 1/4, and so on. A technique developed in a calculus course called Newton's method takes the derivative of x to the 5th minus x minus 1, which is 5x to the 4th minus 1, and takes any approximation x to a new approximation x minus x to the 5th minus x minus 1, the function, divided by 5x to the 4th minus 1, the derivative. And that gives you 1, then 1 1/4, 1.178, 1.167, and so on, as many digits as you like. As they say in the movie, sometimes the solution lies with old mathematics, not new.